Hi, it's Kathy from Bishopstone Yarns, and I'd like to welcome you here to episode 53 of the Bishopstone Yarns podcast. This is a crafting podcast where I usually kind of just talk about my knitting and crafting and any other kind of things I've been doing. So a bit of sewing, sometimes some crochet, and whatever else might take my fancy at the time. It is May. It is, we're kind of coming up to the second week of May at the moment. And it is, it's a very overcast kind of day today. And I am coming to you from Tasmania, which is the little island to the south of Australia. And you find me at the moment in the corner of my studio. So if you're a returning viewer, hi, it's great to see you again. Thank you very much for coming back and sharing a little bit of time with me when I talk about what I've been making. If you're a new viewer, welcome. It's really great to see you. And if you can hit the like button and subscribe, that'd be great because that would really help me out here on this little YouTube. And I guess not much else to say except for kind of get into what I have been making. It has been over a month since I have made my last video, and it feels like such a long time, but I thought I'd better jump on and show you what I've been up to. I have been doing a bit of knitting, a bit of sewing, and so I might start with a couple of finished knitting projects that I've been doing. So I have knitted two pairs of socks, one for one of my sons and one for my daughter. And the first one was I have knitted these socks in Noro wool, and it's a slightly thicker wool, as in slightly thicker sock wool than I am used to. So this is a Noro sock yarn. I haven't got the band with me at the moment, but this is one that I've talked about. I think I talked about it on my last podcast. I think so. And if not, you can find me, you can have a look at my Ravelry. You can find me as Bishopstone on Ravelry, and I will have everything listed in there, the kind of like the yarn that I've used. And so, yes, so this was slightly larger sock yarn than I'm used to using. My son chose this colorway, so I'll just show you. There's the kind of like the color repeat, and it's quite nice actually. I had actually even been thinking that actually it would make quite a nice sleeve for a jumper. It has that really nice feel about it and look about it. I was just thinking, yes, I could imagine myself making a jumper out of this. But this is a 2x2 rib. So in the leg, I've just done a 2x2 rib. I've done a heel, flap and gusset, and then I've just continued the rib on the top of the foot and just had plain stockinette on the bottom. I do have one here that I've got on a sock blocker. So this is how it looks. So I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. I think these would be a really nice, lovely kind of pair of wintry kind of socks. They're very nice and squishy. And so now I think this is the Noro silk from memory. So this has got a bit of silk in it, which will help it being a slightly more hard wearing sock. And the needles I used for this were Knit Pro Novas, 250 mils. If you can, is it going to focus on that? No, my camera is not going to focus. But anyway, so they're the needles. Usually I do 2 at a time on circular needles, but actually for both of these pairs I went back to using 4 double pointed needles. So that is my son's sock, which I'm really, really happy with. I really like them. I actually kind of think they would be, I think they'd be too thick for me in terms of like trying to fit. If I had a pair of socks like this and then tried to fit them into my normal shoes, I'm not quite sure how well they'd go because I've got such tiny feet. But I am kind of tempted into having a go at making a jumper out of some Noro silk. But anyway, there we go. So that's one pair of socks. The other pair of socks I made for my daughter, and I'll just show you. So this was Modavera's Not Just Sock 4-ply. And this is the leftover ball. So you can see how pretty it looks in the ball. And so my daughter just wanted a pair of shorty socks. So these have knitted up really easy and really quickly because there's only such a small kind of leg. But I think this one has turned out really well. I really like these. It was actually, I like these so much that I was thinking I wouldn't mind actually knitting myself a pair of little shorty socks for summer. But I do like I love the pattern repeat. I like the pinks and the purples. Actually, I like the whole thing. I'm just wondering if I might have enough left over in this ball to make myself a matching pair. My daughter and I have around about the same size foot. So I think that could turn out quite nicely. So they're the two socks that I've done there. You can see the difference between my son's sock and my daughter's sock. So I was quite happy with how both those turned out. And for my daughter's socks, I was using the Knit Pros 2mm. And it's kind of quite nice that they were like a matching pink. So they are all of the socks that I have finished. I was going to say I had been keeping my socks in my little knitting bag here that I had made for myself with the little sheep, and if you can see closely, there's the Australian working dog there, the collie. But I absolutely love this material. And I also have a little stitch marker here, row counter that a friend had given to me. So it's got a lovely little fairy at the end, and then I've got a little stitch marker here and all the little beads on it. So that works out really well. It's all nice and handy to keep everything in. So, and in terms of knitting, for oh yes, it was for my birthday. I can't remember what it was, but yes, for my birthday, the family gave me a gift voucher to one of our local wool shops. And so I went along with the gift voucher and kind of thought, well, I'll have a look and see what I can buy. Now, what I had been wanting to make was a yoked jumper for my husband. And what I had left over, what I already had, just bear with me for a minute while I just bend over. I had some, here we are, some Bendigo Woolen Mills 5-ply. This is in, I think, the colour Raven. So I had quite a number of these balls, and I've had this in my stash for quite a while. Originally I thought I might use it for weaving, and it would make a really nice warp for my weaving. And anyway, since I haven't been doing any weaving for such a long time, it'd been sitting around, and then I thought, well, maybe I should knit him a jumper out of black, but then I would need a contrasting colour for the yoke. So I went along to the yarn store. So it's called the Wool Shop, and it's in the northern suburbs of Hobart. And so I went along to the wool shop, had a look to see what they had. Excuse me for a minute, bending over here, and I'll show you what I bought. So as contrast colour to go with the black jumper for the yoke, I have bought some Peyton's Bluebell Merino 5-ply. It's kind of a very, well, let's say, how do you describe it? It's kind of a, well, that probably shows it off quite well. It's kind of a very, kind of a grey, light purple kind of colour. And so I bought enough. I think I ended up buying 8 balls of this. So there'll be enough for my husband's jumper, and then also for me to knit a jumper as well. So this will be a contrast in the yoke of a jumper that I wanted. So then I had to choose a colour from the main part of my jumper. So also in the Peyton's Bluebell Merino 5-ply, I bought, how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 balls. I've got it just in, it's kind of, it's a slightly more bluer colour than it's showing up there. It's kind of showing you a very, almost a grey colour, but it's actually a slightly bluer, greenier colour than that. So that was going to be the main colour, and this would be, you can kind of, I don't know if you can see or not, but this would be like the contrasty colour here. The camera's not showing it up very well, but there is actually more contrast between these two colours than it actually seems to be showing. So that's the wool that I had bought with my gift voucher. And then, of course, I also couldn't resist buying a couple of stitch, or what do you call them? They go on the end of the needles to stop your stitches from falling out. But I just thought these were so cute in the little sheep. And, of course, I got myself a pony cord as well to use when trying on jumpers. So what this does is, let me see if I can show you. So if you have a needle, you have your needle here, and you just pop your needle into the end of this cord. So the cord has, I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see particularly well, but it's got a little hole in the middle, so it's hollow in the middle. Just pop your needle, pop it onto the end of your needle, and then while you're knitting, if you need to try something on, you can just use this as like a lifeline. Pull it through all your live stitches, and then you've got enough extra room on whatever you're knitting to try it on, if that makes sense. Or if you're you can leave it as a stitch holder. So like if you're casting off, kind of if you've got live stitches on your sleeve, you can leave it in while you pop it on your sleeve, and then it's easy just to pop the needle back in, pull your, pop your needle in, and then you can pull your needles back through your live stitches, if that makes sense. So I might just pause there for a minute. Okay, I'm back again. Sorry about that. My dog was barking, so I thought there was someone at the front door. And okay, yes, so getting back to my two little cute things that I bought from the wool shop, and getting back to what I'm going to knit out of all this wool is, I have had this pattern for a little bit. So it's the Arne and Carlos pullover, and I don't know if I can go up nice and close there, and you can kind of see the yoke and the pattern work. So if you can kind of imagine, what I'm going to do is like this one. This will be the black, and then the yoke will be that lighter grey colour. So I have started this, and I'll see if I'll actually, just sorry for turning away. I'll see if I can show you. I've only got this on one needle at the moment. This is where a good time it would have been for me to have put my pony cord on to show you this. But so far, woo-hoo-hoo, I'm all tangled up here. So far so this is a bottom up pattern. See if I can get myself all organized. Okay, so I have done up to the sleeves. I have added the sleeves, and the pattern with this one actually starts before you join the sleeves. A lot of yoke patterns, I guess you can see like this one, this is the Birkin by Caitlin Hunter. The pattern doesn't actually start until you are actually up on the yoke, so your pattern's actually in the yoke section, whereas this Arne and Carlos one, the pattern actually starts, as you can see, there's some pattern there on the sleeve and pattern on the body of the jumper before you join the sleeve, which just means that when you join the sleeves to the body, you have to make sure that, of course, the pattern is at exactly the same spot. And the sleeves have one extra stitch in the pattern than the body does, if that makes any sense. If you can kind of maybe see there, yep, where are we here? So if you can see, this is thicker than on this pattern here, where it's only just, yeah, maybe it's a little hard to show you. Anyway, so you just have to pay attention, make sure that you're following the right chart for the right bits. But apart from that, it's been a very easy knit so far. I have tried it on him once. The body fits okay, and so I don't think I'll try it on him again until a bit later. So I'm kind of hoping that the arms will be, I had tried the arms on before I joined them onto the body, so hopefully everything will fit him really well and it will look good on him. Now the thought was that when I bought the other wool, what I would do is make a matching jumper for myself in those other two colors, like the bluey kind of greeny color and using this same contrast color. I will wait until I finish knitting the jumper to see whether or not I will still do that. I mean, this pattern actually looks really nice in this, and it's a really nice pattern, but I'm not sure if it's a really great pattern. Do I want to, don't know. Is it a kind of me pattern? I don't know. I would have to wait and see until it's finished, and then I'll work it out then. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I think it's going to look really nice. And well, I mean, Arne and Carlos know what they're doing when that comes to pattern designing. So I think that, yeah, it's really going to be a lovely pattern. And it's really nice to be using up some of this Bendigo, the black in the Bendigo. And I still have a little bit left on my voucher from the wool shop. So I'll have to decide what it is that what else I'm going to buy from there. I haven't really decided yet, but I'm sure I will find something to buy. Yes. Okay, what else have I been doing? Well, I have bought something else, so I might just jump into that first as well while we're talking about things that I've bought. I have been along to one of my local needlework shops. So it's actually in the city, so in Hobart, and it's no, I didn't get it from there. We will just rewind all that. I went to a Stitching Time in Sandy Bay, which is a little suburb just really next to the city of Hobart. And what I went there to look for was some cross-stitch patterns, like some Easter bunny type patterns. And I also wanted something that I could use to, when I'm cross-stitching, something that to help me roll up the excess material that I'm not using so that it doesn't get in the way while I'm cross-stitching. So originally I had been thinking about buying some of those magnetic kind of clippy band things. I'm not what they're called, like snap lock bands that I've seen quite a few people using on their YouTube, but they didn't have any of those. So what I ended up getting was some of these little clips. Now I do have some of these smaller ones because I use them in my quilting and sewing, but this, as you can see here, this is a multi-pack, so you've got all these different sizes. So that's been really helpful. I've been using these big ones to hold the material together, which so far is working quite well. And actually these will come in quite handy also with my sewing and quilting to hold bigger pieces of material together. So that was one of the main things that I went there for. But of course, as we all know, when you go into a shop and you're looking for something, so I was looking around. So what I was actually really wanting to find was kind of some patterns for like primitive kind of patterns in terms of kind of cute little Easter bunnies and kind of flowers and things like that. But I didn't find anything quite like that. But I did find, oh my gosh, this cute pattern. So this is Animal Cracker series and Maggie, called Maggie May. So it's designed by Stacey Nash. I'll put that up there a bit closer so you can see. And oh my gosh, look at that. It is a little, it's a little bunny rabbit. And if I just turn around, you can see it. You can keep your little scissors in the back of it as well. But I just thought, oh my gosh, that is the cutest little thing. There were other patterns as well. There was a squirrel. There was a little mouse. And I was almost tempted to get the little mouse, but then I thought this cute little rabbit was just absolutely gorgeous. Then, of course, I found the Olga's Autumn Stocking by Plum Street Sampler. And I have been eyeing off parts of this for quite a long time. What I really want to do is actually, if I show it to you kind of close, but what I would like to do is actually divide it into different sections. So I have the pumpkins as one, have this cat, and I've been taken with this cat for quite a long time. I can put it up there really close for you to have a look at this beautiful cat sitting on pumpkins. So I really wanted to have that, and then I think this would make, this top section would make a nice little cross stitch by itself. I don't, yeah, I'm not keen to do the actual stocking, but I think as individual kind of pieces, that would be lovely, especially this cat, because I have been eyeing that off for such a long time. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then, of course, just as I was leaving, I did see the most gorgeous, this is called Funky Chickens by Satsuma Street. So it's designed by Judy Rice. And I mean, oh my gosh, look at those. Are they not the cutest little chickens? Oh my gosh. And I just think they are so gorgeous. And what a great way to use up some of those really, really bright colours. I can Sorry about the glare on there. But they're so cute. And so their little beaks, and so their combs and their beaks and their little kind of tail feathers here are made from felt. But I just think that is so cute. I can't wait to start making some of those. Yeah, so they are kind of, I don't know how you're going to actually put them together. They're actually done in a bit of a triangular kind of a shape, but I'm sure it can't be that difficult. But they are just so cute. Oh, love them. But I still didn't find my primitive bunny kind of patterns, but that's okay. Because at the moment I am cross-stitching at the moment, and I'll just show you. I don't know, for those people who are returning viewers, you might remember in December I was working every day on my cross-stitch, and I was doing the 12 days of Christmas, and I had finished the first 4, well 8, well no, I think I did up until number 3 in the series, and then I've just finished 4, and then because it's May and the 5th month, I have just started the 5th one. So here it is, the Prairie School. So this is the next pack. I have finished 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm working on number 5 at the moment, which is May, and I don't know, will I actually manage to get 6, 7 and 8 done as well each month? My thought was that I could try and do 1 a month, which isn't too difficult to get. I mean, like, it wouldn't be too difficult to do if I wasn't doing all this other stuff like knitting and sewing and life as well. But what I've decided to do is I just do a little bit every morning. So every morning, first thing in the morning when I get up and have my morning drink, I just do a little bit of cross stitch, and then at least a little bit gets done every day. So where I am up to at the moment is, oh, hold on. Let's see. I have got this far into May. So he's just, May, of course, being 5 golden rings. So I have got into the 2nd ring, and I think I'm doing quite well considering we're only halfway through May, and I'm pretty sure that'll get done. Here I have my other. So for the moment, I'm just putting them all together on the same piece of material, and my plan is to eventually have them all separate, cut them up and make them into little separate displays so I could put one out each day. But that might change. I might change my mind, and I might decide that I want to keep them all together as one big, huge, lovely cross-stitch piece. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I'm impressed. At least I'm up to number 5. And then when I get on to number 6, I will be halfway there. So that's a little incentive for me. I think then I would be halfway through. Okay, what else have I been working on? Well, I have been, of course, doing a little bit of hand stitching. So if I put everything here, I have been working on my hexagon pieces, like hand sewing my little hexagon pieces together. For those people who didn't see that video or don't remember, I went to a garage sale and a lady was selling off most of her craft supplies. So there were all these beautiful hexagons. The little individual hexagon pieces had been cut out, but the paper piecing hadn't been added to them or cut out. So I have started with all the individual little hexagons, and so I have got some of my flowers already put together, and I'll just go through and show you what I've got here. So this is going to be an autumn themed, I guess kind of like a table runner, just an autumn kind of display that I can use around the house. So these, I think I only have maybe 8 more flowers to put together before I finish putting the entire runner together. I was going to start adding these onto the runner now, but then I thought I should probably wait until I finish the last 8 pieces, because I think I've got another 5 to do with this dark colour and a couple of lighter ones to go. So I really need to be able to work out so I can place these kind of evenly on the edges of the table runner, because I don't have all the brown pieces or the dark brown pieces together in a big clump. So I've been working on that. And the other big amazingly happy thing that well, I'm happy about it is, and I think a lot of people have probably heard about this over and over, so I have been working on the Farmer's Wife sampler quilt, which if I show you there, there's a picture of a finished quilt. And so this is by Laurie Aaron Hurd, and a lot of people do this in reproduction material, using up scraps. And I did actually notice at the last quilting show that I went to down here in Hobart, they actually had this book plus the you could buy the kits for it as well. I think they even had the kits for sale at the Needlework shop in Hobart City. Threads, needles and something or other. So Threads in Hobart, I know quite a few months ago had kits, so I don't know if they still do or not. But so this is a quilt that I think there's a something like 112 blocks. I did not make all 112. I think I have done enough for the double-sized quilt, which I must say is enough for me. As I keep saying, I'm not a quilter at all, but this was just a project that my local quilting group were doing to use up scraps, and I must admit I have learnt a lot. I didn't really know anything when I first started, so I have it'd be sad if I said I hadn't actually learnt anything, but I have learnt a lot about quilting and cutting and piecing and choosing fabrics. And so I have finished all the blocks. I put all the blocks together, so I have finished the front of the quilt, and I have no idea how I'm going to show you this. Let me see. I still have to put the border on, so I'm going to put a thicker, like same material as this, but I'm going to put a border around it. And then of course I'm going to have to get some backing material, well, hopefully find some backing material that I've got. I'll use that, and some something to pop in between it, and then of course I have to quilt it. So maybe it might be easier if I try and get to the middle. So here is my middle piece, and this is the last. I have shown you most of these blocks, all of these blocks before, except for this row here. So this was the final row that I was working on, and this is my middle row, which has 13 blocks in it. And oops, let me just hold up. So this block here is the very middle central block of the quilt, which I was really, really happy with, and I decided when I made it that that was going to be my central block, because I just love it. I just think it's quite nice. Some of these blocks, it would be really interesting to have a look at some of these blocks in different colors, and that's a great thing about other people in my quilting group actually doing the same quilt, is going to see, having a look and seeing what colors other people have used and how they've turned out. So it has been so much fun, and the best thing for me personally is once I put it all together, the blocks actually look so much nicer once they've been framed. Stand up and see if I can give you a bit of an overview. But of course, once I have put it all together, once I've put it all together and it's backed and everything, of course I will do, I think I'll do a video just on the quilt and display it in a much better way so you can have a look. I might even try and see if people want to pop over to Instagram. You can find me on Instagram as Bishopstone Yarns, and I might pop a video up there just showing you the blocks that I've done. Like oh, what am I saying? If I lay this down on the ground and take a video of it, I'll put it up on Instagram so people can pop over to Bishopstone Yarns on Instagram and have a look. So, and of course, if you have a favourite block, let me know. I haven't spent enough time looking at it yet to decide what I might choose as my favourite block, but I do like that central one. There are just, yeah. Anyway, so I am happy that I don't have to do any more of these blocks at the moment. I am already eyeing off another quilt to use up some of my brighter fabrics. So there is an Australian quilt maker, and I have been looking at some of hers, but I will talk about that another time. Okay, well, I think that's enough of a roundup, because since I haven't been here for a little while, I had a little bit more to show you than usually. So that is it. Thank you very much for sticking with me and having a look and see what I've been up to. If you've got any comments or you'd like to say anything, just please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Okay, bye.